So, this is it, guys. This is the survival guide for retiring in the Philippines. You know, there's a lot of talk about how to retire early, financial tips and tricks, but not too many people actually talk about where you can actually go and retire comfortably. That's what we're going to talk about today, so let's get into it. Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. I am a US citizen living here in the Philippines, and today we are going to talk about the survival guide. If you're retiring here in the Philippines, we're going to cover some of the basics that I think are really important for you to know before moving here. Obviously, everyone's different, so your mileage may vary, but I just want to cover some of the things that I feel like are really important and would be really useful for you to know before arriving here in the Philippines. No. One is a bank account. So when you arrive here, you're gonna need a bank account. Now, I recommend opening up a bank account at BD. Those are two of the largest banks here in the Philippines, and they're quite reputable. I have an account with both banks. The process for opening up a bank account is fairly simple. You just show up to a branch and ask to open up a bank account. They will ask for your passport, your alien certificate registration form and proof of address. If you don't have a proof of address yet, I'm sure they can work with you, but typically that's all that's required. If you want to learn more about the process, you can watch my video right here where I go through the process step by step. Next one on the list is getting a SIM card. Now, I recommend getting a SIM card from Smart or Globe. These are the two largest providers here in the Philippines. Now, you can get a SIM card at the airport when you first arrive, but I recommend waiting until you get to your city and then getting a SIM card because the prices are better. They'll offer you a better deal if you wait. Plus, if you have any issues with your SIM card, you can easily go to the store and have them resolved immediately. Now, I recommend getting a physical SIM card instead of an S. It's going to be cheaper and it's going to last longer. I did a video on how to get a SIM card in the Philippines. It was really easy to understand. You can watch that one right here. Next one on the list is internet. So you're going to need internet when you move here. I recommend either getting Globe or Smart. These are the two largest providers, and they have the best coverage. Now, I recommend getting fiber if you can. It's going to be faster and more reliable than the other options. I have Globe, and it has been pretty reliable for me. I know a lot of people have had bad experiences with Globe and Smart. So, if you want to check out other options, you can look into Converge. A lot of people online are saying they've had a great experience with them. But personally, I do have them, so I unvouch for them. I also recommend getting a separate Wi-Fi for your home. Just in case the Wi-Fi goes down, you do want to be in a situation where you absolutely need to use the internet and it's not working. Having a backup plan will save you a lot of headaches. Now on to transportation. So, how are you going to get around? Are you going to drive, or are you going to take Grab? Well, if you're driving, I do recommend having a car. It's going to give you a lot more flexibility and freedom to explore the Philippines. However, traffic is getting worse and worse every year, so you might want to consider not driving. Personally, I switched over to Grab about 6 months ago, and it's been a life changer for me. All I have to do is download the app, schedule a ride, and a few minutes later I have a ride to wherever I need to go. Grab even offers a subscription model where you pay a monthly fee and you get unlimited rides, so you can check that out. But in my opinion, Grab is the way to go. If you want to learn more about the subscription model, you can watch my video on that right here. Moving on to food. So, eating out in the Philippines is relatively cheap. You can eat a decent meal for less than $2. However, you might want to consider cooking your own food to save money. Cooking your own food is gone. Now be healthier and you'll probably enjoy it more than eating out every day. I know a lot of retirees who moved here from the US, and they've never cooked before in their lives. But once they get here, they realize it's a lot cheaper to cook your own food. So they start learning how to cook, and they end up enjoying it. So if you're planning on eating out all the time, I do recommend budgeting a little bit more money because it can get expensive. Another thing I want to talk about is domestic help. So if you're planning on hiring a domestic help like a driver or a cook or a nanny, I do recommend hiring one. It's going to make your life a lot easier and you have a lot more free time to do the things you enjoy. The cost for domestic help is going to depend on your location and the person you hire. In major cities like Manila, you're going to pay more than you would in a rural area. Just remember that the minimum wage for domestic help is 2,500 pesos per month, and that's according to the law. However, a lot of people pay more than that because they want their employees to be fairly compensated. If you're looking for domestic help, I recommend asking around your neighborhood for recommendations. That's how I found my helper, and she has been with me for a year now, and I love her. Another thing I want to mention is medical care. So if you're retired, chances are you might have some health issues that require regular medical attention. I do recommend finding a doctor you trust and stick with them. It is always good to have a primary care physician who knows your medical history and can refer you to specialists if needed. Now, the cost of medical care here in the Philippines is very affordable. A general checkup might cost you around $30, and specialist visits are around $50. So, if you're looking to save money on medical care, the Philippines is a great option. The next thing on the list is entertainment. So how are you going to entertain yourself here in the Philippines? One of the great things about living here is there's always something to do. You can go to the beach, you can go hiking, you can explore the different islands. There's a lot of adventure to be had here. But if you're looking for more traditional forms of entertainment, you can also find those here. For example, there are plenty of casinos where you can gamble, and there are also golf courses all over the place. So, if that's your thing, you can do that as well. But in my opinion, the best thing about living here is the people. The Filipinos are some of the most hospitable people I've ever met, and they're always willing to lend a helping hand. You'll never be bored here because there's always someone to talk to, and that's one of the things I love the most about living here. The last thing I want to talk about is taxes. Now, if you're retired, chances are you might have some income coming in from Social Security or retirement accounts. The good news is the Philippines has a tax treaty with the US, so you won't get double taxed. However, you still need to file your taxes with the BIR, which is the Bureau of Internal Revenue here in the Philippines. I do recommend hiring a local accountant to help you with this because they know the ins and outs of the tax system here. If you're not careful, you could end up owing a lot of money to the government. But if you hire a good accountant, they'll make sure you pay your fair share and nothing more. So, that's it, guys. That's my survival guide for retiring in the Philippines. I hope it was helpful and informative. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. I'm happy to answer any questions you have about retiring in the Philippines. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.